Hello and welcome to the Brother Sister Show, a family-owned and operated podcast where two siblings keep in touch and talk about movies. This week on episode 117, we're talking about The Batman. But before that, we normally like to catch up because despite being siblings, we don't keep in touch as often as, I don't know, we probably should. I think it's fine. We have this podcast, so it's a remedy for that. So what's up? What's new?
I did have a story I wanted to tell you that I don't know if I actually told you, but I told mom and dad, and it's happened to me like a couple of weeks ago at this point. But I went to Forever 21 and I was shopping around, just looking. I usually just like beeline to the plus size section because that's when they have like my sizes. And not, it's just like, I like oversized stuff anyways. And Forever 21's a place where they only have like large and they might have an extra large, but you have to look for it. So anyways, I usually go there and then I gathered my stuff. But then now like I go and explore outside of that and I go in other sections to see like, what do these skinny girls get? And I see if I can fit into any of the stuff because they get a lot of cute stuff and they have more options than I do. And so I was looking around and the entire time before this happened, like a bunch of people kept asking me for if I wanted a bag to like put the stuff in. Mm-hmm. And it was like truly any time I stepped into just a different area, somebody would come up to me and ask me. And I have all this shit and I was like, I can't tell you how much I do not want a bag right now. And you guys keep fucking asking me for it. And so I just kept saying, no, thank you. And just kept walking. And so I went to this other section. I always call it the skinny girl section, but I went to this other section and they were, this girl came up to me with a bag and she was like, oh, would you like a bag? And I was like, no, thank you. Again, for like the 5th time. And then she said, oh, and just to let you know, the plus size section is 30% off. And I was like, okay. Like, and I don't know, this was such a weird scenario because like obviously I know what I look like, so like it's not like she's dissing me, I don't hate that I'm fat, it's fine, but it just so badly wanted to be like, no, why would you tell me that, like especially when I'm in the section for like skinny girls, it made me feel like she was like, oh, why are you, like, you strayed away, I need to like shepherd you back into your little section. But it rubbed me the wrong way. And so I even though I wanted a bag at this point because I was picking up all this stuff, like, I mean, I guess people can't see like what I wear on a daily basis from this podcast, but now I do wear stuff that is a lot smaller. Like, I don't care if I show off my body now. So it's like, I do get some like smaller things now. So I kept getting shit, and at this point I did want a bag, but because of that I was like, no, I'm not gonna get a bag.
Just in spite. That's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. It was so funny to me that I was like why would you, that's such a weird thing, because like imagine if I was insecure about it, or if I was embarrassed, or if I didn't like the fact that I was a big girl, like that just would feel so like I'm glad I was the person she said that to. I don't know, it was a very complicated set of emotions, because I was like, I like that she didn't, mince her words, because I usually hate when people do that, but it just felt so strange. And I said to Sebastian, like, what if we left and like, or what if every single section that I went into, somebody told me that, like they came and they were like, and it also just was a weird situation, because like I like Forever 21 and I go in there all the time, but this time it felt like people just kept looking at me.
That's weird.
And like the employees. And so I was like, already felt weird. And then she said that and I was like, are they looking at me because of what I'm wearing? Like, I don't know. Just like people, I'm used to getting that. I'm used now when I wear a lot of crop tops now. I wear like, stuff that's a little bit tight fitting. And I'm used to people looking at me now, because it just comes with, having a body like mine. People just stare at you all the time. And so it just felt like a weird situation overall. And then I said, and we were talking about it even more, and I told him, like, what if I went to, like, Urban Outfitters, and somebody came up to me, and he was like, hey, do you need a bag? And I'm like, no. They're like, okay, just to let you know, the plus size section at Forever 21 is 30% off. Like, everywhere I went, they just kept telling me that.
Are you lost? I feel like you haven't seen the plus size section yet.
At Forever 21, it's 30% off, which is a great deal, and I did take advantage of it.
Yeah,
But,
that's a silver lining. That's like you write that in a movie and you're like, I don't know if this is like actually believable. Like I don't know if anyone would actually be that shitty to say that, or like at least
exactly.
but like there's the proof this would happen.
I don't. What have you been up to? That's all I can think of. I don't really do anything.
Just school. One of the movies I saw kind of like summarized it, so I'll kind of go over it then, but I had this past 2 weeks I just felt like I've been drowning in schoolwork, all because of just me procrastinating. Like while I was taking a test, like this test that I took was like the end of like me being drowning, or of me drowning, because it was like after this my next assignment isn't due until like a week later, so I had a little bit of breathing room. It's like the first time I could breathe, and when I took it, it's like, I don't know if you've ever had this feeling, I hope you haven't, but I think everyone in college has, where you just hand the professor an exam and you're just like, I'm so sorry, like this is not my best work. And it's just so defeating because I spent the entire day like studying for it. So I was like, oh, that was just a waste. Like there was no reason for me to even do that. And it's just such a humbling feeling to like walk out, put your AirPods in, or like put your earbuds in, and just like live your day, even though I just bombed that shit, bro. Like I was walking back to the bus and I was just like, what is my life? Like it was the most humbling, like that's the most humbling feeling that you can have in college.
Oh yeah.
Legitimately, I turned a page, read the question, one of the questions. It's from an AI class. So like the material is like kind of challenging, I guess, but I read the question and I was just like, I legitimately don't know where to even begin. Like I had spent, like I said, the entire day, like
I'm gonna have a nightmare about this later.
9 to 2 I had spent studying, and I saw like none of it. Was like, what is this problem? Like, how do you solve this problem? And my mind was never been more empty. I was like, I don't even know where to begin, bro.
I couldn't tell you even if I tried.
I just put I'm sorry. I'm not even playing. I just put I'm sorry.
Did you really?
I put I'm sorry. I have no idea. That's how desperate I was.
You dummy.
Yeah. So it's been that.
I hope you learned your lesson.
Yeah, it's just been a wake up call because I've just been watching movies instead of doing work. So
you've been watching Aragon instead of learning about AI.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah, honestly.
Do you want to get into the movie news, or do you want to do that at the end?
No, yeah, let's get into some movie news.
Okay. So first, let's talk about, I feel like we can end with Euphoria. Because I don't know how much I have to say about that, but the first thing I'll talk about is kind of funny. I don't know if you saw this whole Sam Elliott thing. I don't know if you listened to it, where Mark Maron, basically on I think it's called What the Fuck or something. Mark Maron has a podcast where he interviews just different celebrities, filmmakers, like actors, whatever. And he interviewed Sam Elliott, who's known for, what was he in? A Star is Born. He plays that guy, like the dad. No, the older brother. He was the older brother of Bradley Cooper.
Parks and Rec.
Yeah, he's just overall like Western kind of guy is the vibe. And so Mark Maron naturally asked about Power of the Dog, which is one of the best Westerns to come out in recent years, in my opinion. And he called it a piece of shit. And he said, not only, I don't want to say exactly what he said because it was just like so fucking stupid that I don't even want to read it again. But he basically said two main points. One of them being like, what is all this gay shit happening? Like he just didn't like all of the homosexual, I forgot what he called it, but he didn't like all the, I guess, allusions to how much homosexuality was in this movie.
Yeah.
And he also was talking about the director, James Campion, which is my queen. And he said, what does she know about Westerns? First of all, Sam Elliott, one thing that people keep dunking on him for, which I think is a hilarious thing to find out, he's from fucking Sacramento. What the fuck does he know about Westerns? I mean, sure, you can watch a lot of Westerns and know about it, but sit your fucking ass down. You are from Sacramento.
Plus,
we're from a more Western area than he is.
Isn't it more like adapted from a novel?
A yeah, exactly.
So
you
like,
fucking idiot.
She didn't write the source material.
Exactly. Let me tell you something, Sam Elliott. Leave Jane out of. Get her name out of your fucking mouth.
I saw this tweet. I said, you remember that meme about, because like we never find out who Bronco Henry is.
Oh.
Or it's like gonna tell my kids this is Bronco Henry. It's a picture of like a young Sam Elliott.
He doesn't even deserve the right to say that name. What a stupid fucking take.
Honestly, like, I keep on seeing shit like that on Twitter. I'm just like, what's happening here? And then I just need to like watch a movie instead.
Yeah. My question is like, who cares what you think about that? I mean, I'm sure Mark does, and I'm sure he regrets asking about it now. But like, okay, Sam Elliott, like, just say that you can't handle being a little bit attracted to Benedict Cumberbatch and move on. Okay, just shut up. Shut the fuck up.
That's what it is. What else we got?
I just wanted to rant about that for a second. We can talk about the SAG Awards and I don't know if you watched them. I didn't watch them because I forgot they were on. But I did see who won everything. And I mean, I know they award like TV shows, but I specifically want to talk about the movie awards and what it means for the Oscars. Because usually the SAG Awards are a good indicator of what is going to happen at the Oscars. And
Why is that?
A huge, I think it's just because of like the politicalness of it all, like how obviously the Academy the Academy voters are probably going to watch the SAG Awards, and so if they see people that win, they're going to notice the reaction to it, and they're going to like that's a political side of it. But it also shows, because the SAG Awards are voted from people in the industry. It's voted from people
Screen actors,
the actors, yeah.
And
so I feel like that just shows who actually, like, we can all like a movie, we can all like a movie or like whatever performance is being rewarded or being nominated, but it kind of just depends on what the people voting like, it doesn't really matter what we like.
When do the Oscar votes happen? Like, when does the voting take place? Okay, I get that. I guess in my mind, like, the Oscars have already been decided.
They could have, but that's another thing. Like, I'm assuming the people that are a part of the Academy and the people that are part of SAG are in the same crowds. And so whatever discussion is happening is among the same groups.
Yeah.
Okay. And also there's just history behind it too. There's like statistical history behind it where it's like every single, almost like for the last like 3 years, every actress that's won Best Supporting Actress has also won, like at SAG has also won the Academy Award. So like it's also that.
So what are the big ones? I know you said
people think that Ariana DeBose, who's from West Side Story, she's got it in the bag.
Oh yeah,
she's gonna win.
That's like historic, right? Not only for the fact that, or is it just because Rita Moreno has won it?
I think that, and I think also because she's a part of the LGBTQ plus community, and I feel like that would be a historic win for that community too. I think at least that was for the SAG Awards.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, that's what I was thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
And you said Jessica Chastain.
Yes, Jessica Chastain won for Best Actress, which I think even people for the SAG Awards, like that were predicting for the SAG Awards, were not expecting that. That was a really big surprise, which I also didn't expect it either. I didn't mind it. I mean, you watched Eyes of Tammy Faye, right? She's pretty good. She's good in it.
Yeah.
So that was really surprising. Another one that was surprising was Will Smith, but I think that people, when he did when he was accepting it, people were like, oh, like I wouldn't be mad at a Will Smith win. And I wouldn't either, honestly.
Yeah.
Also the Best Supporting Actor went to, I forgot his name, but he's from Coda. People think that I think when he first, it was a big surprise that he was even nominated for an Oscar.
Right.
And so people are like, oh shit, he might win, which was obviously be historic within itself, because I think he would be the first deaf actor.
That's, think every time I see, like, I saw there, like, when it was announced that he won, and I've just like seen, you know, some interviews, and just like, I don't know, that cast seems like very close, like a very close knit group, and that's just a fun feeling, like, to put yourself in their perspective, like, to be there.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Like such a good, like, I don't know.
I mean,
just
just
looking
moment. And looking at the win, because that's another one, Coda. I think a lot of people really liked Coda. I haven't seen it. I really want to, but I just don't have Apple Plus, so I have to figure out a way to watch it.
Yeah.
But that was another really surprising win, because I think Coda was one of those movies where everybody's like, oh, I loved it and I wish it would win, but it's probably not going to. And so the fact that it's, you know, continuing to win, it won Best Ensemble, it won for Best Supporting Actor, like, I think people have a little bit more faith in it now, because you know, other movies that have been like huge in the conversation were almost like shut out at a certain point. There was also the TV ones, but I mean, Ted Lasso won a lot, and surprisingly, Squid Game not only won for Best Ensemble, but it won a lot of like, I think the two main actors won, which, surprising, but like, I'm glad it happened, but didn't expect it to. But yeah, so I think just the implications of what it means for an Oscar, I think it'll just be an interesting Oscars. I think that's what it's showing, that it won't just be like who we expect. It'll be some surprises. Yeah. Oh, and then I forgot about this one, but did you see the new controversy about the Oscars?
There's a new one. What's happening?
But it's not really new, but there's new news coming out about what happened and why they took out, they're not televising some of the awards. It's because ABC, who has, I think, aired the Oscars for, I don't know how long, but for years, they told the Oscars if they air, though, that they either will not air the Oscars, or they have to take out those categories in order for them to air the Oscars. And if they don't, then they're not going to air them.
Go somewhere else.
That's what people are saying. They're like, part of me is like, yeah, maybe just stick to the contract because we want to see the Oscars, but then like, fuck them. Just say no, and people will be behind you more than they are now.
Yeah, set up a YouTube live stream, bro. That would be like
exactly
the most viewed Oscars of all time.
Also, or like fucking call their bluff. And ABC is the only people that are gonna suffer from that. I mean, I'm sure. Well, I don't know. Because I'm sure there is a lot of repercussions that would happen, because the Oscars probably get a lot of funding from from sponsors and from commercials. And if they lose that, then they probably can't even have the ceremony at all.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Okay.
So the conversation just kind of turned to like hate ABC more than the Academy themselves, because they kind of are like, well, what are we going to do? But I think it has to do with viewership. Like, I'm sure they think that's what's going to help them, when it truly isn't. You're just going to... It just reminds me about how much people, like, in the higher ups that are making these decisions don't really know what the audience wants.
Yeah, at all. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't see that at all, but...
There you go. All right. Last but not least, Euphoria.
So...
It's not a good show. I'm just kidding.
It's not.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I stand by what I said, or I don't know if I said this on the podcast, but I'll say it again. Sam Levinson is good at making episodes. He's not good at making a show.
Yeah. Kayla showed me this, our favorite format of TikTok of, guys just.
Did you know?
Yeah. Saying that Euphoria got canceled. It's not going to come back for season 3 just because of all the shit happening.
I doubt that's true.
That happened. Well, yeah. So we were kind of right. It didn't pay off as well.
At all, actually.
Yeah. So Fez go jail. Baby Fez.
Ashtray's dad.
Ashtray. R.I.P.
Oh, people were gonna know we were gonna spoil it, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could just add a little spoiler. Well, spoiler. Spoiler. I mean, we already spoiled like everything.
Yeah, we'll see.
Nate ratted out his dad.
Okay, so throughout the whole experience of like the episode itself, the Cassie fight, that was just so embarrassing of her just running on screen and trying to act like the main character. The only thing that truly made it feel like a season finale to me, and I gasped, was the reveal that he ratted out his dad, because I truly didn't think he would do that.
Right.
I didn't think he had the balls.
But
what exactly is he being arrested for? Is it like, I mean, I'm sure soliciting. Well, but okay, that's my question. So is it just the fact that he is hiring sex workers? Because I know that's illegal, right, in certain states, or everywhere. Is it illegal?
I'm not sure about that, but I know like it's child pornography.
I know, but it only has to do with jewels, right?
Yeah. Or I don't know.
So if we're maybe I just am dumb, but if we're assuming, because I was like, okay, so does this mean that it was just bullshit when he gave her the DVD? Is that what we're all believing? That he copied everything? Because I thought he was like, what was the point of that? To make her, because then if you're trying to make her feel safe, she's gonna know because he got arrested.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there was more.
Because I know about that. I know about the underage.
Okay.
Ness of it all, but I just didn't understand if that was supposed to be like a nod, like basically them saying he lied when he told her like that's the only copy.
I guess so.
But then I was like, but then why? Because she's gonna find out.
I don't even know. Yeah,
like, what is the point?
They're like gonna have to question her.
Yeah. So I'm confused about that. And part of me's like, at first I was like, maybe I'm just dumb. But now after watching the entire episode, I'm like, oh no, he's just not good at writing.
Yeah, it did feel like a series finale. Like, the whole like panning up or like a drone, like transition to drone shot kind of whenever.
Yeah, so fucking stupid.
Rue is walking away. That felt like a series finale shot to me. Just the crane, the use of a crane.
And I was waiting for her to get kidnapped. I was like, this is going to happen.
That would be good. Just a van coming
That would have been amazing.
Yeah. Wow.
But no.
Yeah, I mean, were you like, I know everyone on Twitter was like absolutely shaken that Ashtray was killed, but I don't know, part of me was like, I saw it coming, so I wasn't. I
saw it coming sad. And like, yeah, I mean, it was sad, but I'm not as like upset as everybody is, because like why didn't he leave?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was, I didn't mind it.
I didn't mind
story wise, the child being killed,
murdered.
Story wise, I didn't mind it. I thought it made sense.
It was kind of tame, actually.
It just took way too long.
Yeah.
Like the whole like slow-mo of like, it felt like it took the police like 10 full minutes to get into that house, because Faye was just like staring at the fucking door.
He was yelling for like forever.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was like, okay, let's speed this up, because we all know what's gonna happen. Yeah, and then there's just, I liked that ending of like the last line that Maddie said when she was like, "This is just the beginning, bitch. Like, he is not done with you." I liked that.
Yeah, that was cool, because it's like you can tell that she's kind of accepted, it being kind of over for her, and she's like, "I'm gonna start my own shit."
Yeah.
Any thoughts for season 3?
I mean, if it does truly come out 2024, if that's what they're going to do, then I'm not going to probably even care by then, honestly.
Yeah.
They just did so little to keep me interested that it just, I mean, they put a full fucking song into this show and thought that we would forgive them for that. Like I know a fucking filler when I see it.
Yeah, that was rough. Because Kayla was like, I hate when they hire musicians and the musicians are like,
They
hey,
have to sing.
can I like
Yeah.
perform?
Yeah, exactly. I like how they do it with Zendaya.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't mind at the end of season 1 the whole like music video thing. Like I thought that was kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when he started singing, I was like, oh fuck it, of course. um, apparently he like Sam Levinson came up to him on the day and was like, we want you to like sing a song, and then the guy was like, I guess they're just making this up as they go, because he was like, yeah, I guess. And I don't know if you saw the memes or like all the things people were like tweeting about him and about like Elliott's song, and the guy that plays him was posting on his story, and he like was posting all the like the memes of like like they showed like a clip from Camp Rock of Joe Jonas like singing to Demi Lovato, and they were like Elliott be like, and he said that after all that, like he was saying it was funny, and then he put this one picture that said of his face, and then he said, the internet remains undefeated. I am humbled. Or something like that. And it was so goddamn funny.
Yeah.
At least he took it. Like, I mean, nobody was making fun of him. I think we were just making fun of like, why would we need this entire song? Because it was so weird to me that they played the whole thing, because I thought that they were gonna like do that whole, he was gonna start off the song and then they were gonna show what everybody else is doing, like cut away to something, like a montage or something. But why keep it on him that entire fucking time?
I saw this lady, like the lengths people will go to defend the shit that they watch. I mean, I do it for movies that I like and shows that I like, so I'm not saying this is a bad thing. But she was saying that because Rue is sober and we've only seen her interact with Elliott when she's like, you know, high or, you know, experiencing withdrawal from him. It's like the audience is like realizing how she feels. She's like, oh shit. Like, I don't know, like it feels prolonged because she's sober and she's just like coming to terms with that. Or it's just like from her perspective, you know, everything else that she's experienced with Elliott has been at a heightened level where she is high. So
yeah, but there's so many more interesting ways you can do that.
Yeah.
All right. I'll get into my movies because you had the pleasure of watching the one I picked for you. I forgot what it was, but we'll get into it. Okay. I haven't watched a lot of movies, as you can tell from my number. I don't know why. I think it's because my body knows that South by is coming, and so it's like you don't have to watch a lot of movies right now. Yeah, it's like in my bones. So I've only watched a few, and just some random ones, honestly. So I watched The Ritual again. I don't know if you've seen that one on Netflix. It's a pretty solid horror film if you haven't seen it. Just these guys go into the woods and shit happens, kind of thing. I watched A Nightmare on Elm Street, not the original one, but the reboot from 2010. And it's so bad. I forgot how bad it was exactly, but it's really, really bad. I don't know if you've seen it. The concept, obviously, of falling asleep or of not being able to sleep or you'll die is really scary, but they somehow made it just seem like so stupid. Then another classic from 2010 called Let Me In. I don't know if you've seen it.
I don't think so.
So it has the kid from Power of the Dog, actually, and then Chloe Grace Moretz. That one, I saw it when I was pretty young, and it always creeped me out. Like, it's one of those movies that, like, when I look at it or when I hear about it, it just, like, I have this weird unsettling feeling in my stomach. And so I watched it again because I was like, I wonder if it actually is scary or creepy. And it is. It does still have that same creepiness to me. So I recommend. It's kind of, I don't know if it's giving it away if I say it's a vampire movie. Yeah, interesting. You might like it. I recommend.
Okay.
3 stars. Okay, and then I finished Genius, so the Kanye trilogy.
Okay, I started it.
The beginning, like the first two acts are really good. I liked them a lot. But then once we start to get into his, like, the career that he has developed now, I just got angry. I just didn't really like it. It's such a hard thing to review this, though, for me, because I liked the way that the film was made. I really like the filmmaker. I think he is fantastic. And I kind of, Sebastian would make jokes when he brought his family more into like the documentary where we're like, I thought this was about Kanye. But towards the end, I think it's the last act. He brings more of like his daughter into the movie. And I really liked that part. Cause they're just such a cute family. And I think I didn't realize how much I liked watching not only the start of Kanye's career, but also the start of Cootie's career. And so I think that was a nice surprise, but it's really hard to separate though my feelings of this movie and the subject matter, because it kind of reflects how I feel about Kanye, where I used to really like him and I thought he was, a genius at a certain point, and now he just makes me angry, truly.
Ooh. Yeah, I've only watched the first part, and so I'm like in that I'm in that dream stage where I'm like
the nostalgia, yeah.
Yeah, because I was like listening to, Late Registration, like all that came around that time that the documentary takes place, and it's just, yeah, I just didn't know, and it's just so interesting to learn and how he just like completely changed the game, and it's like inspiring because like, part of me wants to do that, but for film, and I know I won't, but it's just like, oh, yeah.
Who knows? Maybe you will.
Who knows?
But yeah, it just, I don't know. I think that's why I think the film was pretty good, because even though the ending was kind of like lost in the direction that he wanted to go, but I feel like he did a good job of portraying like how it does feel to be a fan of Kanye, to be like, really liking what he's doing and really appreciating how he's changing the game, and then seeing him try to run for president. You're like, dude, it's just, yeah. It was such an exhausting experience, but I think it's such an exhausting experience just seeing him.
Yeah.
And dude needs help. But yeah, I mean, I recommend watching it, like finishing it if you want to. It's an interesting experience. Yeah. And then of course the Batman. I think I need to change I think I was a little too harsh on my Stars review, but I don't know, we'll see. But and then I watched a movie called Can You Keep a Secret on Netflix, just because I told Sebastian just put something on, and he put this on. It was like, it felt like I was in the editing bay of this movie while we were watching it, because there was it was bad, because it was like such weird, awkward silences, like scenes lingered on too long. But the weirdest thing was that there was like virtually no music, which it's really hard for me to, I never really noticed the music. So for me to notice that there wasn't any was bad.
That's rough. Why? I wonder why.
Yeah. And then there was this one scene where the main character, like, sorry, I know we're yawning so much. She gets embarrassed.
I know why.
Why?
I saw the Batman super late. I got out at like 2 in the morning.
Oh, so did we. We could talk about it. Yeah, so there's a moment where like she gets embarrassed by her love interest in front of all of her coworkers, and they all like are laughing at her as if they're in a high school cafeteria. And I was like, what kind of workspace and what kind of adults are you working with that they just openly make fun of you?
Yeah, that seems weird.
Yeah. So bad movie, but if you lose, then you're gonna watch it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's all I watched.
All right. But we'll go pretty quick. I rewatched The Sorcerer's Apprentice, which, man, that movie It's like hit straight with the nostalgia. Like seeing that movie and listening to Secrets by One Republic play, like on the Tesla coils, man. I was like, what is happening to me? Goosebumps.
Goosebumps. Shut up.
No. Then I watched, been slowly trying to get through the movies, shorts, documentaries nominated at the Oscars. So one of them is a short called Affairs of the Art.
I haven't seen that one.
Very unique art like style. I really liked it as far as that. But the story is just lost on me. I don't know. Just wasn't for me. But then I watched Creed and Creed 2. Creed I liked, like the first one, a little bit more than I remember. And the second one I liked a little less than I remember. Like, 'cause for the first one, I just didn't remember any of the things that happened. And it was just like ridiculously long for no reason. A little bit too for the second one, but I found the story to be more compelling. Yeah, and the montages in those are fantastic. They definitely took a note out of Shrek's book. Then Aragon, that's another one that's just like nostalgia. I called Mom yesterday and I talked about this Dragonology book. I don't know if you remember. I was gonna actually ask where it had like just all about dragons. It had like textured scales, the
skin,
yeah, like sections, and it was like Mom told me that I used to write in it, and she used to get mad that I was like just like tearing up that book because like there was like stuff you could do, little like inserts. And then yesterday I watched some like very solid movies that I just haven't had a lot of time to like dissect. Haven't even written my Letterboxd reviews for them. The first is I talked about it because I checked all these out from the library. It is Synecdoche, New York.
Synecdoche?
Synecdoche.
Okay. It's not Schenectady?
No, that's the actual city.
Oh, okay.
It's a play on words. I don't know why, but Synecdoche, New York. Charlie Kaufman's directorial debut. He's a infamous screenwriter for being John Malkovich, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. He wrote and directed this. There's a lot of themes in this movie, a ton of them. At some point, I felt like it was a little bit too disjointed.
Mm-hmm.
But I really, really loved it. It was recommended to me by David, and my favorite theme in this movie is probably, and the reason it struck a chord with me is just it talks a lot about death and dying before doing like what you're supposed to do in your life or what you think you're supposed to do, what your purpose is, and just getting to an age where you look back on your life and you're like, I didn't do anything that I wanted to do. So it's in that aspect because I resonated with it, and I think a lot of people can resonate with that. And I've thought about it. It's a very depressing movie. You've never seen it before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very depressing. And Philip Seymour Hoffman's fantastic in it, as he is in everything, or was in everything. And it's funny because I was watching it with it, and I was finishing it, and Kayla was sitting next to me, and she was like on the car ride, I think after that, or we were headed somewhere. She was like, "Is that the guy from Game Night?" Like asking if it was Jesse Plemons.
Just another white man, Kayla. Sorry to say.
Yeah, and I was telling you that joke of someone tweeted like, Philip Seymour Hoffman passed away, and this fucker just showed up, and no one batted an eye. It was just funny.
Oh man!
But that movie, Synecdoche, it's only going to get either better, like infinitely better, or worse with age, because it's like either going to get like happier for me because I'll be like, yeah, I've done some shit, or I haven't done anything. So.
And you know what? It's up to you.
I know, and
how
that's
that
the thing.
feels.
So, yep. I'm definitely gonna watch that at least once a year, and just like gauge like where we at, bro? Vibe check. Then I saw Videodrome, which is David Cronenberg's 1983 sci-fi body horror movie. And it's a super interesting plot. And the body horror isn't too bad because, like I said, it came out in 83, so the VFX haven't aged too great. So it's not, some of the effects are just like almost laughable because it's like, if you watch it with a group of people, it'd be like, it'd be like funny.
Like, have you even seen Titan?
Exactly. Baby has a spine, a metal spine. But I was stupidly eating pizza while I was watching this movie. So a little bit was like, I felt like a little uneasy. And then I watched Sex, Lies, and Videotape, which is Steven Soderbergh's directorial debut. And it was fine. It was like pretty fascinated with it. But I was more so interested in, the little booklet that comes with it in the Criterion Collection. Because, has an essay on it. But this one, because it was an independent film, and it aired at Sundance, I think, with a budget of only like $1 million, I think. But it had excerpts from his diary or his like journal from when he wrote it to when he like started production, like actually shooting it of it. So reading that was just like really inspiring and just insane to see, because he'll talk about, trying to get funding, getting funding, getting the actors, like all that process. And then, like one of the backers or just like drops, and he's like, oh shit, I gotta keep these actors even though I don't have money for this movie. And then just like, it's just really interesting to see, that process, just because I have no clue whatsoever. Just seeing how the industry works, and how, he kind of pitched this movie, like he wanted it in black and white, and it ended up not being, and like who he wanted to be casted for these roles and who ended up actually getting them. Really interesting. So I really resonated with that more so than the movie, which made me like the movie a little bit more. So that was awesome. And then before that, I watched The Wrong Missy, which is the last movie I'll talk about. So this one you said you hadn't seen?
No, I have.
Oh, okay. Looking back, I don't hate it as much as I did when I watched it. I think, my hope is that the director or the filmmaker behind this wanted us to hate this movie as much as, I don't remember his name. David Spade.
Oh, Sam. Oh, what? Yeah.
Hated Missy. And then progressively it like grew on him. Or she grew on him, right? And then the movie kind of like got a little bit better.
Yeah, the pinnacle of romance is when you're so fucking annoyed by this bitch that you will do anything to get away from her. And then she grows on you. Because she's nice.
Because she hypnotizes your boss. So that's my hope, that this movie wanted that. Not saying that's a good thing, but
yeah, you're giving it a lot of credit, which
yeah, that's why I want that. Reading that the journal diary entries really made me think about just the making of a movie. So
can you imagine if the director for this movie wrote a journal? What would you think it would say? Kill me.
Wrote.
I hate this so much.
Wrote threesome scene where what's her name gets knocked down 3 times. No, this is a banger. Like, I don't know. This is so much ridiculousness that
yeah, it was really bad.
I can't believe it's a real thing, honestly.
It did feel like a fever dream. Like, I don't really remember what happens in it. Like you said, threesome. Okay, I trust you that that's correct and that happened, but truly, You could just make shit up and I'd be like, okay. Because I have no
Yeah.
idea what happens in the movie.
This movie happened, and the world is worse for it. So
We're getting back into our roots because this time we're going to play 6 Degrees. But it's basically the Family Tree game. Okay. So our actors are... Let me just pick them from random. Rachel Weisz. Weisz. And the movie is The Fountain, if you know what that is. She is our first actress. And our second is Benicio del Toro.
all right.
And this movie is Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
All right, I couldn't come up with it, but I will tell you what I had.
Okay.
So from Benicio del Toro, the only thing I could think of was Snatch, and Jason Statham's in it, and I couldn't think of. I mean, I know he's in like The Wrath of Man, and I know Clint Eastwood's kid. I forgot his name.
Scott Eastwood.
Yeah, and then I was gonna try to, because I wanted to go to Jeremy Irons. Because Jeremy Irons is in Aragon with Rachel Weisz.
Oh, she's in Aragon?
She voices the dragon. I remember because I looked it up.
That's so funny.
I was like, who is this dragon? And I was like, oh, okay. So I couldn't connect those two somehow.
Huh. I'm trying to see if I can do Snatch. That's so funny. You still would, even if you did connect it. I have it in 2.
Yeah, I figured you had it pretty quick.
I think you're going to be upset as well.
Probably.
So Benicio del Toro is in Avengers Infinity War.
Oh, he's the collector.
Yes. With Scarlett Johansson, who is in Black Widow with Rachel Weisz.
Wow, yeah, I completely forgot he was the collector. That's a good one.
Actually, you know what? I'll be nice. Because there's a lot of movies that I saw at South by last year are starting to get on streaming services. And 2 of them are on Hulu. But I think there's one called The Feast and one called How It Ends. Do you want to watch something scary or something funny?
Scary.
The Feast.
Okay.
I think that's what it's called. The
Cool.
Feast on Hulu. Very good. It's a weird one. But I'm excited for you to see it.
All right, The Feast will do. Cool. Yeah, I suck. This is not turning out to be my year, but hopefully I'll beat you in like the movies watched. So.
You won't, but it's okay.
Well, let's hit the break. When we get back, we're talking Matt Reeves' The Batman.
In his second year of fighting crime, Batman discovers corruption in Gotham City that connects to his own family while facing a serial killer known as the Riddler in The Batman. Directed by Matt Reeves, written by Matt Reeves and Peter Craig, based on the character the Batman, created by Bill Finger, starring Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, and Jeffrey Wright.
Critics gave it a 8.7 out of 10 on IMDb. Very high.
That is like the highest. Isn't it?
And 85% on Rotten Tomatoes. And on Letterboxd, it has an average of a 4.3, which is also very high.
I think I gave it a 3.5, which I think is too low. I don't know.
I haven't even rated it yet, but I'll probably give it a 4.5.
We'll see. Maybe I'll figure it out by the end of this conversation. Because when we left the theater, because I think me and you had similar watching experiences where, for one, I was fucking tired. And we watched it at 10:15 p.m. on Thursday.
Ooh, I watched it at 10:50.
Oh, yikes. And I had to work the next day. I was so fucking tired. I didn't even get enough sleep the night before. We're going to see it again this week with Sebastian's parents. So I'm excited for that because I feel like I'll have a better idea of what I thought. Because a lot of it's really bad to watch a mystery when you're tired because you're like, because I had so many questions where I was like, what is happening? And or there was a point in the movie where I looked at Sebastian and I was like, do you understand what's happening? Because I don't understand any of this. Like, are there some, I think it was when they were still trying to figure out the mystery, but I just was like, I was so tired that I didn't understand. I was like, am I supposed to know more, or am I like, do they want me not to know a lot? And he was like, I don't know. So I think the tiredness kind of colored my experience, but I did end up like, you know, figuring it out the next day and thinking about it. That's why I didn't put the review until like the next day. But yeah. So that's kind of my experience. I was just super tired. I was like almost falling asleep.
Well, I forgot how long I've been waiting to see this movie, because it's probably the movie, like the longest I've waited to like and been excited about a movie. Because this is, I'm sure this is in your fun facts, this has had a long time coming. Like, I think in 2013, when Ben Affleck was announced to be the Batman, like it was also announced that he was like in the works of making his own Batman movie, where he would write, direct, and like, I don't know if he would direct it, but like he would work on a movie like the one that ended up happening. And I remember like when it was announced and talking to David about it, one of my bestest friends, and we were just like so excited because this was like, you know, fresh out of The Dark Knight Rises, and you know, seeing that, like that was the first midnight premiere that I ever been to. Remember being so like excited about it because like we hadn't seen like Batman be a true detective in live action before. I mean, there's like, you can tell in the Dark Knight trilogy, but it's just, you know, you can tell he's a more established Batman too, despite being, you know, pretty fresh too. He didn't feel as amateur as he does in this one.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
Yeah, so just me going into it, I was just like so excited. I like took the day to like do all my work, so I just like didn't have anything to worry about. I just like could watch the movie. So I didn't feel tired until the end, like towards the end, where I was just like, all right, let's wrap it up, because it was like almost 3 a.m. But
I mean, it is a 3-hour movie.
yeah. But it's absolutely no surprise that I loved it so much.
It's solid. It's very good. And I
Very
knew
solid.
from the very opening,
100%.
like I really loved that scene. And I was we hadn't eaten anything. And so we were eating at the beginning, and I wanted to pay attention. So I was like, as soon as they gave us our food, we just started eating. And, I missed whenever the light, or Sebastian told me, like whenever the TV flickered and you saw like the Riddler in the back. I didn't see that, and I'm really upset. So I'm like, I'm excited to see it again. That whole sequence though is so good. I liked how it looked though, because it was kind of like a video game.
It was, and it did kind of play into that, because that's like, I love playing the Arkham games. And this felt like it. It felt like I was just watching the cutscenes of that. Like, you know, on YouTube you can watch all the cutscenes and just basically play the game through that. But this entire movie felt like that to me. So I was like eating out of Matt Reeves' palm. I was like, bro, just give me whatever. Because as soon I could tell Kayla was like excited to see me watch it, because, you know, I just like love Batman, and just this movie was just amazing, because I was just like, specifically whenever he like takes his first night out, you know, that we see, and he's talking about how, you know, like who he's become for the city, and how whenever they see the, you know, the bat symbol in the sky, they think he's in the shadows. And that specifically I think was just like perfectly done, where you just like you see what the, you know, the thugs see, or what the criminals see, and you can just like kind of picture Batman there, even though he's like obviously not, because he can't be all these places at once. But I was just like in awe. Like I remember just like, wow. And I just looked so excited, and I looked over to Kayla, and she was like just watching me, and I was like, I felt embarrassed. I was like, I'm so sorry.
Well, you could have fooled me because you're wearing a Spider-Man shirt right now.
Oh yeah, I don't have a Batman shirt.
Oh my god.
I wore this actually last night.
Watch, he's probably in your closet right now, and he's like gonna hand you a shirt.
Yeah.
And speaking of the first scene, I like that I don't know how much you knew about this movie and like what storyline it was gonna tell, but I like that they started out with him as Batman. I didn't know they're gonna do that. Oh, and I have my little Bane.
Yeah.
Here.
That's an expensive pop. There's gonna be someone.
It's out of the box too.
Yeah, and that one's like worth a lot. So
is it really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm never how much is it worth?
Didn't we look it up and it was like $100?
Oh, I mean, whatever. Well, it's okay. I guess I could tell the story. This is the perfect time to tell the story behind this because I have had it for a long time. The box, from moving so much, the box got ruined, so I just got rid of the box. But I wanted this. What?
You don't even have it. That's gonna.
No, I don't. I threw it away.
People off.
I truly don't care because I'm never getting rid of this. Because let me tell you why. Because after I watched The Dark Knight Rises, I wanted this. I don't really care for Funko Pops. I have none except for this guy. And I really wanted him because as anybody who knows me knows, I love Tom Hardy. Love him very much. And so I was like, well, I want Bane, but they only had like the comic book one. And I was like, no, I want Tom Hardy's Bane. And I want the Funko Pop. That's all I want. And so I tried to find it, but then it was like $100. And at that time, I was like, I'm not going to spend that money on a Funko Pop. And either for my birthday or for Christmas, Sebastian got it for me. And to be fair, when the box already was kind of damaged, like it looked like it was kind of reopened and then resealed. And so the box was already not, I mean, maybe it was, I don't know. But yeah, I got rid of the box. I threw it away. And anybody who's mad about it can fucking suck my dick because I truly don't care. Shut up. Fuck, I hate people like that are like upset when you take stuff out of the box. I don't care. I'm dying with this guy because I'm never getting rid of him. Look at him. He's so cute.
You're holding $200 in your hand.
$200? That's
what I see on eBay. That's the highest.
And he's never leaving my side. I don't care about Funko Pops. I don't really like them, honestly. But I love this guy.
Prized possession right there.
And honestly, I hope people are mad because that's hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Stay mad, bitch.
But the only thing that I knew was that it was going to be, focused more on him being a detective. I knew it was like he was 2 years into being Batman.
Oh, I didn't know that. So I thought we were looking to see like oh, you know what? When they first showed like the kid with the parents, I was like, oh God, we're going to see, like I've seen Batman's parents die so many fucking times. I don't need to see it again. So I thought they were going to show that. And so the fact that they just went into the story, I was like, oh shit. All right. Like I'm very excited for this. And I also truly usually hate narration. I feel like it doesn't really add anything because they just tell you what's happening. But I liked this one because it felt like it was adding to the story, or it was adding to, especially because we're jumping into the story, right? We're jumping into him being in there like Batman for 2 years. So I like that the narration didn't feel like it was annoying and it was just like exposition that we didn't need.
Yeah. Plus you get a hint as to like his like general mind state. Because I feel like young Batman and versus like a more experienced is like very different. So you just get like he's more emo now than
he's
ever.
So emo, and I really like it.
Yeah, it just works so well.
The hair, just like how, and I like how Alfred is kind of like the caring, like jock father. Who's like here's my emo son and I love him. Yeah. I really liked their dynamic. I also, seeing the Penguin, I still think it's stupid to put a fat suit on a character or on an actor and make them unrecognizable. But I will say, and maybe it's just because I have an affinity for Colin Farrell, which I do. I love him and I will never be upset at him. But he was good. He was really good. I didn't realize that was Colin Farrell. And in the restroom after the movie, the girl was like, I still can't believe that was Colin Farrell because what the hell? I think she found out after the fact too, because I think she was like trying to see who it was. But it looked good. It was the prosthetics, like it didn't feel like he was wearing anything. So I thought that was nice. Yeah, he's also very funny.
He like truly became that character too. He's just so good in it.
I feel like and I really liked watching the Hot Ones. I'm sure you watched it too, right? I like watching the Hot Ones of just him explaining. Well, first of all, I think he's the kind of actor I like where he knows what he does is stupid and he doesn't really make any sort of like illusions about that. Remember when he was like, he hates when people say I do one for them and one for me, and he's like, they're all for me. I make the money, they're all for me.
Oh, you can do a 5 million one for them. Like,
oh yeah. And you could tell that he's like one of those people where he'll go to an event and like interact with all these people, and afterwards in the car, like to his wife or something, he's like, these fucking, like, I fucking hate everybody there. Leonardo DiCaprio is such an asshole, you know, like he's like talking shit about all these people. But I like that I think he talked about how he really liked the prosthetics because it made him feel like he could jump into the character, and that he didn't have to like, he just felt like he wasn't Colin anymore. He was the Penguin. He was this new guy. And I feel like some people don't really know how to do that. Like they still try to do their like whole acty thing and they don't really create a character. And I feel like he really did use this opportunity to make a whole new person. Truly. Like I don't know what trailers you saw, but we saw the trailer to that Elvis movie.
Oh,
and Tom Hanks looks fucking goofy. He looks so like, stupid.
What is he doing for that? Like what? That's the one for him because no one wants that.
Truly nobody wants that. We also saw the trailer to Morbius, and it was a new cut to the trailer.
Yeah, I forgot because like I see trailers all the time.
And I'm so upset that I know that.
Yeah, every single trailer that I saw was a new cut of, like I saw the Fantastic Beasts trailer.
Oh, and I've never seen that trailer.
I know. And I was like, oh, it makes sense, obviously, because like more people are going to show up to Batman than they are Studio 666, but...
Yeah. But that movie looks dumb. What is it about?
Terrible.
They're like, you know what, this time? Let's put Ezra Miller in a wig. See what happens. Yeah. I mean, I'm excited for the... I was going to say Gringotts. Gandalf? No, not Gandalf.
Let's not even talk about it. I want to go back to the Batman. No.
Mads Mikkelsen. Who does he play?
Grindelwald.
Oh, Grindelwald. I'm excited for him. Okay. It.
He should be fine.
But I like, we can tie it back to Batman because I feel like, remember how Johnny Depp wore a lot of prosthetics not a lot, but he wore some like shit for that one. And this one just looks like they just like put Mads like in front of the camera like they did. And I'd like to imagine that they were like, well, we have a wig, we have like a scar. And he's like, don't put any silly shit on my face.
He's so into character.
I'm just going to act.
He's so into character that he threatened them with a wand. And they're like, oh shit, we're sorry, Mads. We missed.
And there we're truly sorry. He does kind of look like he's like scary, you know?
Yeah.
Like he's just
very
one look.
intimidating.
Like they were like, oh, we have all these like prosthetics and like wigs laid out, and he just gave them one look like, I'm not wearing that stupid shit. And they're like, okay, sorry, and they just like threw it away. Do you have any notes? Did you write some stuff?
I do. I mean, I love this movie so much because it felt like what a blockbuster should do. Like I just have a bunch of general notes. I feel.
Well, I have a weird specific one, but I like that Maggie Gyllenhaal's husband is in this movie.
Oh yeah, Peter Sarsgaard.
Yeah, because she was obviously played Rachel in the other one.
Yeah,
I liked that tie. And I hope that Jake. I think that this is the opening for Jake Gyllenhaal to play Harvey Dent. I'm just kidding. He's a little. I was gonna say he's a little old for that. No, or.
I mean, it depends on like how they want to go about it. Like, yeah, I guess he would be a little too old. But I loved how in the bat suit, he just like towered over everyone. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, just especially the first like real fight sequence with all those thugs
Yeah.
beating on that old man or that dude for like no reason. He just like absolutely towers over everyone.
Oh, and people think, I saw a theory that, like, if we're talking about this beginning still, that the kid that ran away, people have a theory that he's going to come back and be Robin. I don't know if that, I would be upset, but I feel like people read into stuff too much. Like, I feel like that was just like, not every person wants to be a bad guy,
Yeah.
They did kind of linger on him though, so I don't know.
That's true. I didn't even consider that. That would be good, I think. But that theme, just like so present, and it just fits so well. And I loved how
theme music or theme.
The theme music, like his okay. Like dun dun dun.
That was my next note. Was about the music was so fucking good.
And I just love I think it's the timpani, but that those drums are just so perfect. Like even when he's just like traveling as the Batman, and it's just like so subtle. Or when he's like walking into the crime scene, it's just so subtle.
Yeah.
And you just, I don't know. It makes everything feel so epic. Everything that he does, very epic. And I really love that.
I just like the little. I also like. I like the big themes or the theme musics, but musics. Jesus Christ, I like the big like theme songs, but I also really liked. There was a specific moment. I think whenever that the Peter Skarsgård has like the bomb on him, and there's like this small, like ticking music sound.
Yeah,
just that whole like memorial part has like this one. The songs are just so like. They weren't just any sort of copy and paste like scoring. It felt like it was, the person whoever composed this music really understood the tone of this movie and exactly what was going to be shown on screen. Because sometimes it feels like when you watch a big movie like this, like it just feels like they, like I said, like copy and paste it, or they just like were like, oh, I like this one from Dune, and then I like this one from, like they just like took whatever. But I think this one felt so customized to whatever experience Matt Reeves wanted us to have.
Yeah, and if you, I haven't done it yet, but I will. I'm sure if you listen to the score outside of watching the movie, you can tell like exactly what's happening. Yeah. And I mean that's for like a lot of great scores, but I think this one it's just like it will put me in that mood, just broody.
Yeah, exactly.
So
emo.
Yeah, and at the memorial scene, like just the contrast of like him being Bruce Wayne, he just blends in so well. Like he doesn't feel like in the suit he like towers over everyone. I don't know how tall Robert Pattinson is. I think he's like 6'1" or something. But like
my height.
Yeah. I think he has boots as the Batman, but that makes him a little bigger. But
maybe he wears lifts.
Yeah.
I do have a note about so I obviously I love this movie, but I have to kind of poke fun of it.
Oh yeah.
Because the FaceTime call, fucking hilarious. Can you imagine just FaceTiming Batman? Like I will never get over that scene where they're showing the like FaceTime with Paul Dano, and the little screen just has Batman just like, and I think they didn't even bother to like record him separately because it looks like they just have a picture of him and they're moving it around a little bit. When you watch it again, just pay attention to the Batman part of it because it's so goddamn funny.
I was paying attention to the reflection in his glasses, in Paul Dano's glasses.
Oh, interesting. I was not paying attention to that, obviously.
It's not like important. I don't think. Like I didn't take anything from it.
Oh, okay. but please next time, I know you're probably going to see it again. Watch just the little square of him,
okay,
and just the little picture of just watching, just like FaceTiming with Batman, and he's just there in his mask. It's so goddamn funny to me. And I said just like. I feel like once that started to get in motion, I really liked this kind of story they were trying to tell. And I was just so intrigued by it, even though I was, again, very tired. I was like trying to keep myself awake because I really wanted to know what was happening and why the Riddler was doing this, and I just wanted to know like I wasn't annoyed by some mysteries. I feel like can be annoying where you're like, just I don't care. I don't understand. I don't care. And this one was like truly gripping.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's just because like I don't know if someone like who's never seen any Batman movie, I don't know if they would necessarily care or would feel as involved and enthralled as I did. But I really liked how little we knew about the Riddler, because I was comparing this like the whole time. It's like hard not to compare it to other Batman movies, specifically the Dark Knight. Yeah, just the Dark Knight, and how it's kind of like a similar thing where we see a lot of what the Joker has been up to, like how he, who he is and how he, runs the mafia and like just how he interacts with people, and we don't see any
His
of that
magic tricks. Yeah,
we don't see any of that for the Riddler, and so to me it's a little bit more compelling as a mystery, as just because we don't know and we're trying to figure out the entire time. So I was just like,
they kind of do that and they kind of give it that Dora treatment where they were like stay with me, where Jeffrey Wright's like reading the cards and they're like, what is that? Like when a dying man or when a lying man dies. And I leaned over to Sebastian, I said, he lies. I didn't say he lies still, but I was correct. And then the whole like rat with wings, I was like trying to figure it out. I was making all these notes like, let me give me the cipher. I did. Well, that was one of my, I want to try to play around with a new, I'm sure people do this, but a new like format for my Letterboxd reviews where I just do bulleted lists. And for this one, I said one thing I loved about this movie was Alfred just solving this cipher over his fucking morning tea.
Yeah.
He was like, well, I think I have it down while you were taking a shower, whatever the fuck you were doing. But yeah, and I liked that too. I like that Alfred was a little bit more involved in this one.
Yeah, for sure.
But okay. So my next note is about just some of the stuff that was shot in this movie. The way it was shot was so fucking cool. And I think the coolest thing I saw in this movie was when he was flying. The way that they had it, first of all, it like kind of made me queasy, which is the first time I've gotten a little bit motion sick from a movie. Because how they have it, like how they have a camera whenever he first jumps off. I don't know. You know that feeling you get when you get on a roller coaster and you drop? I felt that in my stomach. And it was just so visceral. And it was hilarious that he didn't stick the landing. And it reminds me of like when you have like when you have a speech for like in front of people and you're like, I'm killing this. And once you get off stage, you like fall or so. Nobody sees you, but you're like, fuck, that was such a cool exit. And I'm so glad they didn't see that I just like broke 5 of my ribs.
You just limp away. And even leading up to that, like because it's like he's in the police station and
I forgot about that. And he punches what's his face?
Gordon. And like the chase scene, like I was like I felt so like on edge because I was just like I felt so pumped too.
Chase scene between the Penguin?
Between the cops chasing him. Batman.
Oh yeah.
And when they're just like shooting in the stairwell and he's running and just all the cops yelling and chasing him.
I've seen that scene before. Like I guess that was the one that they were showing on like talk shows. Mm-hmm. But somebody clipped it out of their like, this is so funny out of context, and all they clipped was him just punching Gordon in the face and running. And it still made me laugh a lot. But so I didn't feel that same like anxiety. I just couldn't stop laughing. But also the thing about Batman movies that they are so consistent in, at least with Dark Knight and this one, is why do they like for any anything happening, it feels like they have to get every fucking cop in the city to join them. Like when we were watching The Dark Knight Rises and they were like, oh, we need to like investigate something when they trap all of them. I was like, why the fuck do they need 200 cops to go and like see this? Why?
Yeah.
They kind of like the fact that all of them got trapped underground. I mean, they kind of deserved it, because why the fuck would you have all of them go underground? What was the point of that?
Yeah.
Do they all need to be there when you interrogate Batman? Really? Like, that just so weird that they do that.
Yeah, that's really funny. Yeah. What was next after that? Because honestly, like it's been like 8 hours since I've seen it, and I immediately wanted to watch it again.
Oh yeah, and I'm so excited that we're gonna see it again. But the next note I have is for the one. There's a couple things I didn't like about this movie, and one of them is so I will say I did really love the whole like Batman and Gordon working together this much. I wish we would have seen that. I didn't realize I was missing that out of the Dark Knight trilogy, and I really like that we have it here. And they have such a rapport, and he like truly trusts him, because I kind of thought they were gonna do this whole like Gordon was actually dirty. I feel like people would have been pissed if they did that, but I thought that was gonna happen. But the fact that they truly did just like trust each other, I liked. But the next thing I didn't like was the car chase scene with the penguin. Okay. I couldn't see shit. I didn't like it.
Someone pointed out like just the way that was shot was like it's just so telling of, you know, the characters, because when we're on Batman, it's like we're like angled with the car, because he's just like looking forward and he's just like he's going for it. Like nothing's gonna stop him. And when we're following the penguin, it's always looking back. Like he's always over his shoulder looking for who's gonna stab him next in the back, you know. So that was really interesting. I really like that, to show like power dynamics with the camera is very, very interesting. A lot of good videos to like talk about that stuff. I kind of see what you're talking about. Like I could see a lot of I feel like the editing could have been it's very very quick during that, but I feel like it matches it so well. And it's like the biggest action sequence of the movie. And even before that, when he gets in his car, like I was like, oh shit, it's about to go down.
Oh,
like,
when they showed the
like,
Batmobile?
When he just like turns it on and like kind of revs his
that.
engine a little bit, I was like, bro, it's going down.
I liked that. I think there's probably a lot of reasons I didn't like the car chase scene. I think mostly because why was it raining? That just felt annoying. I didn't like that I couldn't see, and it reminded me of how it is to drive in the rain at night, and I fucking hate it. Yeah. And I just feel stupid because I was like, which headlights are his? Am I supposed to know? Like, I just didn't know. This probably played into me being tired, where I was like, I just don't like car chase scenes. I feel like they're not that interesting.
I can see that.
Yeah, I just not for me. I did love though. Well, I felt really dumb during the part where they were like rat-a-lata or whatever. They were trying to figure out they were trying to ask the penguin like what he was saying, and then they went on the website. I was like, what is happening? I just feel so stupid. That's when I asked Sebastian, like, do you understand what's happening? Like, why did they go to that website? How did they figure out they needed to do that? I just didn't get it. I don't know if you understood.
I don't remember exactly how, but it was like a play on words where what they were saying, when you shorten it, it's URL.
Oh
like,
my God.
URL, like a link.
Yeah. No, they said that, and I was like, I don't get it. It was like, what?
Yeah.
But I think it was me. But I liked after they left, and they left him tied up, that he was like waddling like a penguin. Truly loved that.
Yeah.
Perfect. And I really did think they were going to kill Alfred. So I was super stressed out. I was like, fuck.
It could happen.
Because I don't know anything about Batman. So I thought he was going to die. And I think the scene with Alfred in the hospital is probably one of the funniest scenes of the movie, which is just such a weird thing to say, but because of two things. One is he wakes up, he's so happy to see Bruce that he's even smiling, even though he just had a bomb blow up in his goddamn face. And Bruce is like, you lied to me. Like, as soon as he wakes up, give him a second, dude. He took a bomb for you, motherfucker. Like, chill out.
It's so funny because he just got off a conversation with Carmine Falcone, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna totally believe you. Tells the exact same story to Alfred. He's like, Alfred's like, shut the hell up. You're so wrong.
He's like, all right, what happened? Like,
yeah.
And then he holds his hand, or I don't know if you said this or if Sebastian did, about like when Alfred like reached out his hand, and he held it, and they kind of panned away, or like had a bigger, like a wider shot, and the way that they were holding hands was so fucking awkward. And it is kind of how you would, if you had to like embrace your emo son and how awkward he would be. It was kind of like that, and I really loved it.
Yeah.
But I feel like the relationships, I can't really speak to Ben Affleck's Batman, but at least with like the Dark Knight trilogy and then this one, I really like that the relationship feels so real, of like, you know, somebody that is a father figure but not your father. I liked that. And I also had a prediction, because after this is when when Bruce, or when like Batman and Gordon, they go to that orphanage. It's after that, I think, right?
Yeah.
And then that's when the Riddler like shows him stuff about his dad. And I truly thought my prediction, after they had this whole story about like what Bruce's dad did to like save his, or to cover shit up, and how he killed that reporter, I thought that the reporter was the killer's dad, or was the Riddler's dad. I thought that's what the reveal was going to be.
Oh.
And that was my prediction. But spoiler alert, as far as I know, it's not true. And I also like, another detail is I like that Alfred taught him how to fight.
Yeah, 100%.
I thought that was such a cool little, like, I don't know if that's something that's like known, and I just didn't know that.
I think it's some storylines. I don't know if it's all of them, but I know he's like pretty skilled.
I think that's really cool, and I really liked that part of it. Yeah. Oh, I had a stupid joke. I don't even know what's funny, but I said, you know how like I have a lot of dreams where I forget, like I go somewhere, but I'm like forget to put on shoes, or I forget to like take my glasses. I wonder if Bruce has dreams where he'll show up to a place and he'll beat people up, but he forgot to put on the suit.
That'd be funny. He just completely knocks out the accountants that just come to his house.
Yeah, and he just like, oh fuck.
Excuse me, I didn't mean to close in your temple. Just knock. Yeah.
We're not even talking about Selena Kyle at all. I really liked Zoe Kravitz. I thought she was amazing.
She's fantastic. Like she's just so coy in it.
Yeah.
It just felt fresh take.
And I like the twist of like Falcone being her dad. I like that a lot.
I came as a surprise too.
Truly, yeah. I also liked the scene where she like decides that she wants to kill him. And you know, she decides not to, but then he dies anyways, and the whole thing was like bring him out into the light, and it was literal, that not just like bring him, you know, not
like revealed his identity.
Yeah, literally bring him out into the light so I can shoot him. I liked that reveal. I like the arrest. I don't know how you feel about them revealing Riddler and it's you. I'm just kidding.
Man, I was like, I'm so glad that my frames are not clear anymore.
I couldn't remember if you still have those.
I don't.
Because I was like, yikes. If only you're also lucky that you have curly hair and not serial killer hair like he has.
Yeah.
Those are going to be, you know how like the serial killer glasses are like the wireframe ones? The clear ones are going to be the new.
I'm going to go back.
Ones.
I'm not saying I'm going to become a serial killer, but I'm going to go back to the clear.
You're like, you know what? I saw Riddler and I was like, I like his vibes.
Yeah, I liked everything. I
wanted to be in the prop department so I could write those little journals.
100%. Yeah. Okay. I liked how much like similarities that they had between the Riddler and Batman. Even though, Riddler saw it, but Batman didn't, and he was just like, that like interview or conversation that they had where he was in jail was really really important because, like they both kept journals, and honestly,
I didn't even think about that.
yeah, they both kept journals and like detailed like their
About the
thoughts about the
orphans.
city, orphans, masks to like.
Oh, that is interesting. Because I first I was like, I don't know. I think my tired brain was like, I want them to have some sort of connection other than, them being similar. But I didn't even think about that. Because I thought, I was like, this is kind of lame that he's just some random guy. But I guess that's the whole point, right? Is like,
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that makes Bruce different is that he is rich.
Exactly.
I also love the reveal of the Riddler not knowing he's Bruce Banner. Bruce Banner. Is that his name?
Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne. Bruce Banner's Hulk, right? That he's Bruce. Because
Yeah.
that was the whole thing, right? That he thought he was... Because I think... Sebastian were talking about it, and I think Sebastian didn't catch that, but I was like, wait, am I making this up? But like that was...
No.
Didn't that happen?
No, yeah, it did because, and that's why he went over. So he was at the Riddler's, and he kept on seeing like, who is the Batman? The news clippings. He said, I know your identity. I know who you are.
Yeah, and that's why he told Gordon like, I'm out.
Yeah, he said, I'm next. Yeah. So a couple of things in the journal entry that they read, where I think it's like the beginning. It's like what spawns him because he like looks over to a book and sees the word renewal. Honestly, like you might have to change a little bit of like the wording, but I feel like it could have come from Batman, like just the sentiments behind it. Because I mean, the dude's a serial killer, so fuck him. But the Riddler had like wanted the best for the city. He wanted to show how corrupt the politicians were. Kind of like this, they want the same thing. Batman and the Riddler. It's just the circumstances that they grew up on. And I think that's what the Riddler was getting at, even though he didn't know. Batman is Bruce Wayne is. This man had $1 billion, even though he didn't have parents, so it was a little bit. I mean, according to the Riddler, it was easier for him to deal with that.
And I also like the idea that like he's so adamant, even in other iterations of Batman, that not to kill people, but in this one, how he's like constantly telling Selena like, do not kill anybody, please. And I think that's also made like circumstance, but also that like maybe their ideas are similar of the Riddler and Batman, but Batman's like he would never cross that line.
Yeah.
And Riddler has so many times. So I feel like that is, now thinking about it a little bit more, I like that.
Yeah. It's
that idea.
A lot of good stuff here. A lot of stuff to unpack as far as their similarities. And then
I also... Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, you go. I have a good segue into the like final act.
Okay, so that was my question, because this is when my mind starts to get delirious, because I do not understand the point of flooding Gotham. I don't get it. And I don't get why he would shoot up, why send people to shoot up the arena. Like, if his whole thing is that he wants to save Gotham, why kill a bunch of people?
I think his thing is he wants like to start fresh. Like it's so corrupt that you have to.
Oh, like Thanos kind of thing?
Yeah, or like I mean, it could there could be like a biblical connection, like the whole flooding.
Oh.
Could be that where he sees himself as a god, so he's like, we're gonna start fresh, and I can't start fresh with any of you fuckers, so we're just gonna wipe. We're gonna wipe the slate clean. I could see that being a potential reading. Or, I don't know, he just wanted to fuck some shit up.
Yeah.
But
I just thought that whole last scene was weird.
Yeah. There were so many times where I was like, okay, we're entering the final act. We're where
Yeah.
Batman's gonna enter a place. You know, I thought the orphanage, like Riddler was just gonna be, you know, in a corner just clapping, just like like the Joker style. But I was just like continually surprised. I was like, yeah, I got more coming. At the end, I was like, all right, we can call it quits. But I finally felt it where I was like, okay, this flood thing is gonna be the end of it, and I really, really loved. Some of it was really goofy, but before the goofy part, where Batman's just like totally beating the shit out of all these like Riddler henchmen in very cool manners. Like he just harpoons two guys' thighs and yoinks them. That was.
He's like, I'm not going to kill you, but I'm going to disfigure you and make your life harder.
Just shows how smart he is, like combat wise, which is really cool to see. Like I really wanted to beat the shit out of someone walking out of that theater. Like I'm not going to. I don't have the capability to, but I was like, let's do it, bro.
I always ask Sebastian, like, do you think if I really tried, could I like beat the shit out of and just like it's a random person? I have these conversations all the time.
Yeah.
If I'm angry enough, I feel like I could beat somebody up, but how could I? You know, what would I do?
That's the thing. That part of the movie just made me like feel amped.
Or I feel like I can at least like ruin somebody's life and like just like with my just I don't know, making them feel like shit. Maybe I can't fight, but I can, you know, I don't know, make you think that it was your fault that your parents died. Which arguably could be worse. I don't know. It could send him back.
Could send him back.
No, I'm just kidding. All right. And then one of the things on my list that I said I liked was, quote, unnamed Arkham prisoner.
I have some more stuff before that.
Oh, okay. That was my last thing.
Okay. I have some couple of stuff. So in the fight, Batman takes quite a beating. He gets a shotgun shell straight to the chest, almost to the face. Then Catwoman comes in, saves him, and he like, she's like, it's over, and he like passes out, and then he takes an adrenaline shot, and that was
which
like
looked like lemon lime Gatorade, by the way. Which honestly, that's all I need. Yeah, that's all I need. Just get some Mountain Dew up in those veins.
The same reaction. McDonald's Sprite. Just, I'm fucking amped, bro.
Just a Mexican Coke.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Twisted tea. Just like.
Just give me a margarita.
Yeah. That was kind of goofy.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know, like he beat the shit out of that dude who I don't know if you recognized because Kayla fell asleep a couple times in this movie. But he was the dude from the memorial. The dude that he just like almost put him on the brink of death. That? I'm pretty sure. I mean, his face was kind of messed up, but I'm 60% sure it was the same dude that like talked to him.
Well, I figured
Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, and I figured all of those people that were protesting that had those signs were the people that were probably
which is like
up.
They're dumb for that. Like they wore the same outfit basically. I guess they knew that they were probably getting out of there in body bags. But the entire time, my favorite shot from the trailer was where he has the flare and he's going into the water.
That's a cool
and
shot.
In my mind, I thought it was going to be like an underwater scene, potentially, where he, like, I don't know, goes and sees Killer Croc or something. And, like, cops were behind him. And so he's, like, kind of leading them. But I really liked how it's, like, him. It's, like, a little too on the nose. Or even before that.
People of Gotham.
Yeah. Even before that, when there's, like, the electricity. And he like goes and grapples over it to cut it off. And he uses the symbol, like his symbol to cut it.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I told Kayla at the beginning, because the tin that we have has like the bat symbol. You could tell it's like a utility. I said, if he doesn't use this in the movie at all, I'm going to be so disappointed.
And the way he puts it back too. Fucking
very cool. But that was very goofy.
Oh yeah,
where
but
he
I
cuts
mean
it
that's the
down.
thing about superhero movies is you're gonna have to have a couple of goofy moments.
Oh, 100%. It's just so funny. It was just like the way he cuts it. I don't
And the
know.
way he falls too is not even cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's a person, so I guess it's nice that they're not making it, seem like he's
Yeah.
invincible.
Yeah. But yeah, where he's leading back to the flare, I really like that because the whole movie I was like, when is that gonna happen? When's it gonna happen? Because I really like that shot. It's very interesting.
Sebastian and I were waiting for the penguin to shout, "I got you!"
Oh.
That's the moment for us.
Yeah. So.
And then he looks behind him again, and he's like, "Ugh." I fucking love that scene.
Yeah. But yeah, and then the ending, the part where I was like, all right, let's cut it, is like when he's with Selena Kyle, and they have like their whole conversation. I was like, I'm kind of tired at this point.
And then the motorcycle ride. Why? I don't care. Why do we need to see it? We get it that she's leaving, he's staying. There's a fork in the road. They go separate directions. We get it.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay. So I was gonna say that I thought that I guess I wrongly predicted that they were gonna introduce more characters. Like I thought maybe at the end there was gonna be like Rachel was gonna show up or something, or Harvey Dent, something like that. But are you ready to get to the unnamed? Okay, so this I kind of forgot that I had this pipe dream of, that I didn't think they were going to show Joker, or that they were going to even allude to Joker at all, if that's who this is. So I was very surprised when they kind of showed a little bit of, like, the Riddler's obviously like pissed that his plan didn't work out. And then there's a guy next to him. I forgot exactly what he said, but he was just like,
he's like, they made you into a clown or something.
A lot of clown imagery.
It gives him a riddle. And I don't remember exactly what the riddle was, but it's
I don't remember either.
The less you have, the more valuable they are, and it's friends.
Yeah.
And then he laughs.
And
cackles.
That's because I was like, okay, so Sebastian and I had this journey of figuring out who this was, because they show a little bit of his face. Not really. It's like not well lit. You can't really tell what he looks like, but you can tell that there's some like prosthetics going on. And so Sebastian and I thought that was Two-Face, because it makes sense, if Harvey Dent did show up before during the 2 years, and then what that might have happened, because it kind of looked like a burning scar. Like,
okay,
it looked.
That's what I thought first.
And also the crazy hair too, because because we saw a lot of like the theater we went to, they showed a bunch of scenes from the older movies, and it kind of looked like Tommy Lee Jones, like his Two-Face, where the hair is kind of like crazy too. And so we were like, is that Two-Face? But then the laugh happened, and we were like, oh,
yeah.
okay.
I thought the clown reference and the laugh like for sure solidified it, and then some dude behind was like, Two-Face. And
no,
I was like,
what is happening? He had a crazy laugh, but that's not what he's known for. Like, doesn't the Joker like have a distinct like crazy? I mean, did he not see Joaquin Phoenix's Joker? That was the whole fucking point.
Yeah.
And then, and the whole time too, I was also trying, because I recognized the voice, but I couldn't fucking place it, and it pissed me off. And Sebastian was like, "Do you want me to just look it up?" And I was like, "No," because I knew that there was theories of who it was, but I couldn't remember who. And then he looked it up, and it was our boy Barry.
Yeah, and
he's labeled as like unnamed, and in the credits too, it says like unnamed Arkham prisoner.
Mm-hmm. I had seen him at the red carpet, and I was like, okay, like I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, okay.
I thought he was just friends with Robert Pattinson or something.
Yeah, I was just like, famous people get invited to red carpets all the time. It's just like, whatever. If they want to invite me, I mean, by all means.
Yeah. Just you? All right.
Yeah, I mean.
The fuck? Why can't I go?
I'm just playing. If you want to invite us, by all means.
I think I'm too tall. Maybe Robert Pattinson doesn't want tall people around him. That's fine.
Yeah. Towering over Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, I could probably beat his ass. So Sebastian said so I feel like it's true. Yeah. Okay. What do you think about What do you think about that? I mean, I know how I feel, obviously, but I'm curious about how you feel about this casting.
I see it.
I think
100%.
it's perfect.
I
I don't
think
know who else I would want to play him.
Besides Willem Dafoe, I think.
That's the dream. That's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
No, he couldn't. He couldn't do it. Not because he's not good, but because he's so much of the Green Goblin that you just can't.
Yeah, and they're too similar. Like, yeah, you're right. No, I really like it because I don't know, they could do a lot with it. I think, in my mind, best case scenario is they go like the Killing Joke origin story, where he's like a comedian. I mean, they kind of do this in the
movie
Joker,
that we must not name. Yeah.
but more so in like the Killing Joke comic, where he's like a comedian and he has a wife, and then he falls into the vat because I don't know, some shit happens. I don't want to like talk about it too much, but I could see that being, he falls into a vat of like a chemical.
I mean, it looks
vat.
like it.
Yeah, I'm saying that's what that could have been, But I'm very excited because I think there needs to be something like. I don't think I'm the right person to say, this is who should be cast. So I'm just excited to see, because I have nothing but faith in this direction that they're going in, and so whatever they throw at me, I'll be happy with, honestly.
Well, I'm the right person.
Okay.
And I say this is right. This is correct. This is the only person that can play him. No, I'm just kidding. I really love. I feel like we've had this conversation before of like, who would you even cast if you wanted to do that? Because it's really hard to even touch the Joker at all after Heath. But I feel like if you're going to do a cartoony, if you're going to do it, you do it completely different. Not like Jared Leto, fuck that guy, but like do it, more like what the, I guess whatever comics that Matt Reeves was directly inspired by, but especially seeing how they handled the Penguin, I feel like, because I mean the Riddler was over the top, but he was a little bit more like creepy than, camp or like out there. But I feel like the way that they handled this one, I trust that the Joker will be good. I also fucking love Barry. I don't know how to say his last name. Keegan. I fucking love him. Keegan. I'm sure there's a way you're supposed to say the name that we're not doing, but have you seen Killing of a Sacred Deer?
No.
I feel like that's a good movie to watch if you want to see like probably how. I mean, it's a little bit. It's understated. It also has Colin Farrell in it. It's understated, and he's not as creepy, or he's not as like out there. Not he doesn't laugh like that, obviously, but he's very much a bad guy in this movie, and so I feel like it's a good prep of like what he's able to do. Yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah, we need something new, so I'm excited.
Yeah. Anything else to say?
No, I fucking love this movie. I'm so excited to watch it again.
I'm very excited too. And last thing I wanted to say, because I thought it was something I added to my review, so if you've read it already, then you probably know what I'm going to say. But I feel like this is the first time I've seen Gotham as its own world, a part of its own world. It felt so real to me in a way that I've never seen before, because, I mean, Ben Affleck is so goofy, I don't even want to mention it, but like, when I think of the Dark Knight trilogy, it just feels like how I said it in my review is it feels like Gotham, or it feels like Chicago with a Gotham sticker just slapped onto it. Okay, it doesn't really feel like its own unique setting, but this one felt so real. Like it felt so tangible to me, where I was like, oh, this holds a totally different place in my mind than like Chicago. Even though we saw when we were looking at the credits, and it was most of it or part of it was shot in Chicago, and Sebastian said he could recognize some of the places they were at. But yeah, it just I that's the first time I've ever seen, and I fucking hate when people say this, but like Gotham as its own character, like that's the first time I felt this way, because it just felt so unique.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how you feel about that, but And I think the video game thing, that's probably why, because I've never played that game, but I know I've seen you play it before, and it does feel so similar to that.
Yeah. I will say I kind of get that. When I think of The Dark Knight Rises, like that's a very well lit movie, and Gotham is like very well lit. So I guess I could see what you're saying with that. Kind of Batman Begins, like the whole third act. I kind of get the same vibe as I do here as far as like how I feel about Gotham, just because like, you know, it is very, because that's like that's like Scarecrow's, releasing his toxin across the city. So I don't know if I agree with you on that one, because but I see what you're saying, and it definitely does feel distinct.
I think maybe that's what I'm trying to say. Like, if The Dark Knight Rises wanted it to feel grounded in reality, and like this is a city you could live in, then it did it well. But if this one is trying to create a different world based on the comics, I feel like it did that well. Yeah. So that's all I'm trying to say. I forgot, there was something else, but I completely forgot. Oh, well, I do want to, this is going very off topic, but I don't know if you saw my, what I posted in the Discord about Justice League. It's kind of the same. I also forgot to look at the fun facts because there's so many, so I don't have any.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about those. I saw the video. I didn't watch the video you sent, but it's you talk about.
So this can be like the after credits thing that we do. Or just, if we could just label this section what we forgot to mention in the beginning. But so I watched this video. I don't know anything about the Snyder Cut. I knew virtually nothing other than the fact only that it is in, the ratio is weird because it's just a square, right?
What's it called?
To preserve the...
Oh, preserve. That's what I was trying to think. It preserves Zack Snyder's creative view.
Right, for a movie about a man that flies around and a guy that wears a bat suit. Got it. And okay, so I didn't know anything about the movie stylistically other than that. And so I watched this because I just wanted something to watch when I was working. And it's the first time I've actually felt like I kind of wanted to watch the Snyder Cut. Even though 4 hours, dude, no, there's nothing that can get me to want to watch 4 hours. I even think that the Batman was too long. But the pace was good, though. It flew by, but I feel like the pace for Justice League is probably not that great. Anyways, what Joss Whedon did to this movie, I don't know if I can ever forgive. Just watching the small clips of... Because the guy, I highly encourage you to watch this, to watch the video. Because I don't know if you've seen... I know you've seen both of the movies, but I don't know if you've seen them side by side. It's so fucking strange to see them, because they're totally different fucking movies.
The tone, yeah, it's
the lighting. Just if you just watch it just to see how the lighting is so goddamn different. And there's this one specific scene in a cornfield. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. I think it's at the end with Lois and Clark.
Yeah, where they
and how it looks in the Justice League or in the norm, or I guess like original version versus the Snyder Cut, night and day. Because Joss Whedon's version looks so fucking stupid. The grass is like the greenest, like artificial green you can think of. And the other one looks like it's in a real fucking cornfield.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was talking about with, like this is what a blockbuster should be. It's like, with Justice League, it's just so, and Joss Whedon's Justice League, it's just so plain.
You said Justice League.
It's Justice League.
To put it out.
Josh Whedon's Justice League. Like, why not get playful with it? Like, if you have 100 million, 150 million, why not get experimental, get a little, like, artsy with it, and, like, toy around with the genre and with, like, lighting and shit like that. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's when you can not play it as safe as you should. Like, I feel like you have a little bit more room. I don't know. I'm not in the industry. I don't know anything.
No, but I think you're 100% correct, because if you look at what it looks like as seeing Snyder's version and then seeing Whedon's, it just makes it like, I feel like they saw what Snyder was doing and they were like, no, we want this to be like Marvel. We need you to make it like Marvel. And that's exactly what Whedon did. You know, like he just turned it into what they thought they wanted it to be. When I've always been of the opinion that DC needs to own what they are, which is the darker, grittier version of what Marvel could be. Because Marvel is already stuck in that wheel of like having to make shit for kids, not actually killing people because it's for kids. You know, they're in that trap and they can't really get out of it. There's nothing they've already tried. New Mutants was terrible, was a disaster. I mean, I know that's technically Sony, but it's, you know, it's because of that they can't do anything else. DC has such a huge opportunity to do so, and people like it. The Batman shows that people fucking love it, but they refuse to do that because they're scared to. So I think what you're saying is 100% valid, because they have such cool things they could do with this genre and with superheroes, and they could make it so much cooler and so much grittier, and just they refuse to for some reason. Yeah. And you could still do the goofy shit. They have Peacemaker, they have Suicide Squad. You could still do that, but those still have some. It's still like, if you think about the new Suicide Squad, the better one, it is still really disturbing what they're doing. Yeah. You know, when they go into that facility, it's fucking scary and it's disturbing.
Even the first act where they like all of the group dies.
Exactly, but it works because they are going like they want to be Marvel so bad, when instead they should try to be what Marvel can't be. Yeah. But they won't do it. And it's so weird. So I 100% agree with you, and I feel like this video so perfectly points out like why like what is going wrong with the studio that they won't let movies like Snyder happen. Like, I don't know. And even just the way that the villain looked, I thought was insane, because I remember watching Justice League and I was like, and the guy said exactly what I thought, where he was like, it looks like a video game villain, like truly out of a video game. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I thought. And then how Snyder's looks is so fucking cool.
With the like, scales.
I can't. Yeah. And I can't believe they butchered it so badly. But anyways, at the end of the video, he says it perfectly, or he like shows what this one critic said about it, where he said that Joss Whedon's version is a butchered mess, and then Snyder's version is an unbutchered mess. Like, it's still not great. Yeah. But at least it's like not as like crazy and not cohesive as Whedon's.
Still like trying new shit, I feel like. Yeah. Ah, man.
But yeah.
Which makes me love the Batman so much more. So.
Yeah, and I hope that I hope they actually take the like hint that people want this and they don't want Marvel anymore. Because if we want Marvel, we'll go to Marvel. We don't need you to be that. But yeah, that's it.
Oof. Good talk. I love this movie. I'm gonna watch it again probably tomorrow. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna see it this week. All right.
Hell yeah.
See you next time.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.